Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. You know we love to take these deep dives into the latest AI news, and today we're going to be focusing on the fascinating world of AI partnerships. We've got some really interesting articles for you all from tech sites like the Gen.ai and the opensource.ai. Oh, and we even have some insider perspectives from the closed-source.ai too.
Definitely a lot to unpack today. It's incredible how fast this field is moving.
Isn't it? Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Let's start with this kind of tricky relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft. The Gen.ai had this quote from Mustafa Suleyman, who's the AI chief over at Microsoft, and he called it a sibling rivalry. They even squabble sometimes.
Sibling rivalry. That's an interesting way to put it. It's no secret that Microsoft has invested a ton of money in OpenAI.
Yeah, over $13 billion.
Right. So it's not just some casual partnership.
Definitely not. And then there was that whole drama during the OpenAI leadership shakeup last year. Remember when Nadella offered positions to both Sam Altman and Greg Brockman?
Oh yeah, that was a wild time, even though they ended up staying at OpenAI. It really shows you how much Microsoft wants to be a part of what OpenAI is doing.
It makes you think, like, is this rivalry actually a good thing for AI as a whole? Or could it end up slowing things down?
That's the big question, isn't it? On the one hand, competition can really drive innovation. Like you've got Microsoft pushing ahead with its own large language model, MAI-1, and OpenAI's got GPT-4o and O1. But on the other hand, what if this leads to a future where every company is hoarding its own technology and data, not collaborating or sharing anything?
That would be a nightmare. We need collaboration to solve the big challenges with AI, especially around safety and ethics.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's switch gears for a sec. The Gen.ai also reported on this partnership between PwC India and Meta. They're working on AI solutions using Meta's Llama models. And what I found really interesting was their focus on making AI more affordable and accessible, especially for businesses and public services in India.
That's a really important goal, democratizing access to AI. It fits in perfectly with the Indian government's India AI mission, too.
Right, and it sounds like they're really focused on practical applications, too. Things that can actually make a difference, like streamlining operations, improving customer experiences, helping people make better data-driven decisions.
Those are the kinds of things that can really have a ripple effect, especially in a rapidly growing economy like India.
This partnership is so different from the Microsoft and OpenAI one. It's like two totally different approaches to AI.
It is. But both are important in their own way. We need the trailblazers who are pushing the limits of what's possible. And we also need the folks who are making AI more practical and accessible.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, so we've talked about these partnerships, but now let's talk about who's actually using this stuff. The Gen.ai pointed out this worrying trend. Banks seem to be falling behind in the Gen AI race.
Really?
Yeah, you'd think they'd be all over this. I mean, they live and breathe data.
You'd think so. Well, Bain & Company did some research on this, and their findings were pretty clear. Banks are lagging behind other industries like retail in using Gen AI, especially when it comes to things like personalized marketing and customer service.
It's kind of shocking, actually. The HKMA interviewed 16 financial institutions, and only 2 were using Gen AI for personalized client pitches.
Wow, only 2.
I know. So what's holding them back?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors. First, you've got the heavy regulations. Implementing Gen AI in finance is a really slow process. Banks have to make absolutely sure everything they do is compliant.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Security and privacy are huge in finance.
Exactly. And then you've got the cultural side of things. Banks are traditionally very risk-averse. Gen AI is a big change. It's disruptive, so there's some natural hesitation there.
So basically, while retailers are busy personalizing everything and using AI to recommend products, banks are stuck doing things the old way.
Pretty much.
They're missing out on a huge opportunity.
They really are. Bain estimates that banks could reduce customer service costs by 20 to 30% over the next few years by adopting Gen AI. And they could see a 10 to 15% reduction in marketing costs, plus revenue gains of around 5%.
Wow, those are big numbers.
They are.
So what do banks need to do to catch up?
Well, the HKMA is actually trying to help with this. They've issued some guidelines for implementing Gen AI in finance. They're focused on things like governance, accountability, fairness, transparency, and data protection. It's all about making sure AI is used responsibly in the financial sector.
So the framework is there. It's just a matter of banks getting over their fear of change.
Exactly.
They need to take some inspiration from the retail world. Speaking of retail, the Gen.ai also had this cool piece about Pinterest, using Gen AI to help advertisers. They've got these tools that can turn regular product images into those stylish lifestyle shots.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's like magic.
It is pretty cool.
Walgreens tried it out, and they saw a 55% increase in click-through rates.
That's impressive.
It shows you how much power AI has to change advertising.
It's not just about making pretty pictures either. It's about creating a more engaging and personalized experience for consumers.
Totally. And it's not just Pinterest doing this. Amazon and Google are also getting in on the action.
AI is changing the game for everyone.
All right, before we move on to the next part, there's one more thing from OpenAI we need to talk about.
It seems like OpenAI is always up to something new. This time, it's a new interface for ChatGPT called Canvas. The closed source.ai described it as a tool for more focused writing and coding assistance.
Oh yeah, Canvas. I think this is a really smart move by OpenAI. So many people want more control over how they use ChatGPT, and Canvas seems like it delivers on that.
Definitely. It's all about giving you more fine-grained control. Like, imagine you're working on a long piece of writing or some complex code. You can actually highlight specific sections and get ChatGPT to focus on just those areas.
It's like having a personal editor or code reviewer.
That's awesome. Right. Plus, it has these quick actions for common tasks, like adjusting the length of a text or changing the reading level or reviewing code for errors. It's a huge time saver.
And for all the coders out there, I heard it can even convert code into different programming languages.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive feature. OpenAI is really making ChatGPT a powerful tool for everyone.
It's amazing to see how they keep innovating. But speaking of OpenAI, we can't ignore the fact that they've been having some internal struggles lately. The closed source.ai has been reporting on these high-profile resignations, like their CTO Mira Murati and even co-founder John Schulman.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a shakeup. There seems to be some tension within OpenAI about the direction of the company.
It sounds like a classic clash between pushing for innovation and being responsible.
Exactly. And you have to remember that OpenAI is under immense pressure. They're competing with Google and Meta. It's a high-stakes game.
So what exactly are people concerned about?
Well, there are worries that products like GPT-4o and o1 were released too quickly, without enough safety testing.
That's a scary thought. We need to make sure AI is developed responsibly.
Absolutely.
And of course, we can't talk about OpenAI without mentioning Elon Musk. He's suing them again.
Oh, yeah. The saga continues. This time, he's accusing Altman and Brockman of breach of contract and fraud. He says they've strayed from OpenAI's original mission.
I don't know what to make of it. Musk was a huge supporter of OpenAI in the beginning, but now he's one of their biggest critics.
It's hard to know what his motivations are. Maybe he's genuinely concerned about AI safety. Or maybe it's all just a strategic move.
Maybe it's a bit of both,
Yeah.
whatever his reasons. This lawsuit just adds another layer of complexity to the whole AI ethics debate.
It definitely does, and it highlights the need for transparency and accountability in the AI industry.
Totally. Now, while all this is happening with OpenAI, Google has been making some big moves too. The OpenSource.ai had a fascinating article about their announcement at Google for India 2024. They're launching an open source AI framework powered by their Gemini AI model, and they're integrating it with India's digital public infrastructure.
That's huge. It means their AI framework will be baked into India's digital ecosystem.
This Gemini agent framework sounds pretty amazing. Can you explain how it works?
Think of it as a universal connector. It bridges the gaps between all these different apps and services so you can access information and services seamlessly, no matter what platform you're using.
So like if I need to find the best price for a new phone.
Exactly. Or if you're a farmer looking for agricultural supplies. Or if you want to take an online course, the Gemini Agent Framework can connect you to the right resources.
And this is all accessible to everyone in India.
That's the goal. They've designed it with accessibility in mind. It supports multiple Indian languages, and it even works with voice commands.
I love that. It's not just about giving people access to technology. It's about making sure it's inclusive and benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
So what are they focusing on first?
Initially, they're targeting agriculture and skill development.
Those are both really important areas.
For farmers, they're providing access to things like weather updates, seed details, market prices, even credit opportunities. And for skill development, it's like having a personalized career guidance counselor. It connects you with relevant courses and job opportunities based on your skills and interests.
It's incredible how they're using AI to empower people.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not just limited to India either. Google's working with the X-Step Foundation to launch something called DPI in a Box, which is basically a package that lets other countries replicate India's DPI model.
Wow. So India is leading the way in digital innovation.
Definitely.
Okay, now let's talk about Meta. They've decided to open source their AI-powered population maps and training data as part of their Data for Good program. I think this is a really big deal for organizations working on climate change and sustainable development.
It is. Accurate population data is crucial for so many things, from disaster preparedness to resource management.
So why is Meta doing this?
It's a smart move. By open sourcing their tools, they're empowering researchers and organizations around the world to build their own solutions.
So it's a win-win.
Exactly. They get to do good and enhance their reputation at the same time.
Do you have any examples of how these maps have been used?
Yeah, for example, the World Bank used them to identify potential COVID-19 hotspots in Kinshasa. They've also been used for things like clean water distribution and identifying flood-prone areas.
That's amazing. Open sourcing this technology is going to have a huge positive impact.
Absolutely. As AI gets more powerful and becomes a bigger part of our lives, we all need to be thinking about these things.
So that's something for everyone to think about. We've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about AI partnerships, the ethical challenges, the power dynamics. And it's clear that the AI landscape is changing fast.
It really is.
And the stakes are higher than ever.
That's why it's so important to stay informed and keep asking the tough questions.
Exactly. The future of AI is being shaped right now. And we all have a role to play.
So to everyone listening out there, don't just be a passive observer. Go out there and learn more. Dive deeper into these topics, form your own opinions, and most importantly, share your thoughts with the world.
Couldn't agree more. The conversation about AI is just beginning. And we need everyone's voices.
The possibilities with AI are endless. We're discovering new things every day.
Exactly. There's always something new to learn, something to think about, something to debate. So until our next deep dive, stay curious and keep those questions coming.
We'll be back soon with more insights from the world of AI.
Until then, happy exploring.